Welcome back to another episode of A Cup of Joe. And today's special guest is my friend Pedro Costa with Maranatha. Let's get into it. Pedro, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah?
Yes.
How was it this morning?
It was good.
Yeah?
Few meetings, few phone calls.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start the day early at 6 a.m. every day.
Every day.
That's how we do it.
And what time do you shut it down typically?
6 or 7 p.m.
Yeah, 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
That's
or
the grind.
sometimes more.
Yeah.
And on the weekends too. So that's part of it.
Part of being an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, everyone's like, I quit my 9 to 5 so you can keep my 9 to 9.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like-
I love when people say, oh, it's great being the boss and everything. You can set your hours. I'm like, yeah.
It's 24 hours.
It's 24 hours.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
you're giving up 8 hours for
Yeah.
24. Yeah, people just don't realize the
No,
amount
not
of
at all.
grind it
Not at
takes.
all.
Yeah. So Pedro's obviously one of our vendors at our hub, and you guys do such a phenomenal job between stone work, you do countertops, you do flooring, you do tile.
Yes.
Walk me through from just a quick high level, what is Maranatha, and what do you want our audience to know about you?
Yeah, so Maranatha, it's a family-owned business. So my family started in '07. I pretty much took over the company in the past 2 years as the CEO now. We specialize in flooring, which consists of hardwood, sand and finish, LVP, engineered wood, tile, ceramic, and porcelain, and also countertops. So anything stone related we can do, and we focus on retail, residential, and commercial. So we are very diversified, not just in services, but also in the clientele that we have.
Yeah. And you know what I love about your company and what you guys stand for is you're local.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate because there's times where we just need like a quick turnaround and you're able to turn things around faster than the Home Depots, the Lowe's, or the big, massive fabricators.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you can pull that off?
So we have quite a unique system in what we do. I believe in incentivizing the employees a lot more than just paying them a salary wage or hourly wage. So because we have this incentivized pay structure, we also have quality checks with it. So I could tell you that 95% of our business, everybody that works there, is incentivized paid for producing the work.
I love
so
that.
our fabrication, the same thing. They're paid by the square feet. They're paid by the linear feet. So our installers, templators, even salespeople being almost fully commissioned. So it incentivizes the whole structure to work as a team and to get the job done quickly as possible as well.
That's very smart because then they're almost like they're bought into the business instead of, clocking in an hourly wage, whether the company's performing or not.
Exactly.
So that's very smart.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to dig into that with you
Yeah,
later,
yeah,
but that's,
yeah.
I love the way that. So
Yeah.
did you come up with that?
Yeah, basically, I mean, I have
brilliant.
I have a background. When I graduated from high school, at 18 years old, I became the youngest farmers insurance agent.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I came in that background of insurance, being 100% commission.
It's all cell based.
It's all
Yeah.
cell based. You have to run your business efficiently, and you have to grow your agency to be where it is today. So I did well, got off that train and joined with my family, and I saw the biggest issue that they had was employees just going to the bathroom 10 times a day and just, and extending
Every
lunch.
5 minutes is a break.
Exactly. Yeah, smoke break, whatever you call it. I mean, it's just, it was a lot. So I started trying to see a better way of first coming in sales and being 100% commission. Obviously, you have to work
Sure.
a lot, and you have to sell everything that you're able to sell in that field that you do, so you can have food on the table for you, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, because if your company's not fed, how can you feed others?
exactly.
So it makes sense that it comes from the top.
Yeah, yeah. So I changed that structure a lot in fabrication, install, templating, salespeople, and we bring more elite people that want to work, people that want to come every day and represent us and what we do. And them representing us is also representing themselves, and they're able to maintain a good image for us as well.
Yeah. So walk me through. Elite people is very hard to find.
Correct.
No kidding. Like, I
Correct.
mean, what happened to our workforce? Like, everyone is just
It's
not,
every
they're
day.
like, well, I don't want to work. Heck, I don't want to work either. But like,
Yeah,
here
yeah.
we are. We're having to like do the grind every day.
Exactly.
But walk me through. So, what inspired you guys to get into this business? Like, how did stone and countertops and tile, which I know you and I did a brand story in the
Yeah.
past, and I love the way that you and I kind of like framed it. You take like this piece of earth, literally out of a mountain.
Yeah.
You, mine it essentially, and you take this massive boulder and you start cutting it and polishing it and shaping it, and then it gets delivered to where it becomes someone's countertop. Like I'm so
Yeah.
sometimes I get in the weeds of like the semantics of
Yeah,
some
yeah.
things, but how did you guys end up, like, what inspired you to be in this business?
I think coming from my family's background, we came from Brazil, and came with literally a backpack, nothing. We had
When was that?
back in so my dad, and my uncle came early in the 2000s. My dad did as well, close to 2001, 2002. I came in
Okay.
around 2004, with my mom and myself, and my dad was just grinding here 24/7, trying to gain money so he can bring us over to from Brazil to here. So, you know, coming from a place where we had nothing, we know what it means to have nothing in, in your house, or, living every week in a different house, having that experience early on. Luckily, we were fortunate enough that my dad, had the vision he wants to be somebody. And I thank my dad every day, and my uncle as well, for doing what they did early on in the struggles that they had in the business when they first started. So they were just inspired mostly by, what can I do to feed my family? It was not
Right.
a long-term game. It was a day-to-day. Like, I need to do something to make $100 to feed my
To
family
just
today.
break for the
Like,
day.
it's
Yeah.
just it got to a point, it's a day-to-day. And as they were growing, and because they have great morals that they stand by, and the integrity that they have, honesty, and always hardworking people, them focusing on that, the rest just came through it, because people started saying, wow, these people do a great job. They're honest, they're always on time, they do the best that they can with what they have. And my dad and my uncle, early on, they started with tile and hardwood. And
Which is so intriguing to me.
yeah.
And I remember you telling me the story of like, there's some guy from Georgia or something.
Yeah.
Like, well, just give us that story real quick.
Yes. So they got to a point when they had a separate company at that time. And when before they moved to Alabama, it got so crowded with Latinos, or Brazilian folks. There's a thing, whenever Brazilian people get all together, they start, they start opening businesses.
There's some brainstorming.
Yeah, your employee opens up the same business you have. You steal clients. It becomes a nightmare.
Yikes.
So I would say not just Brazilian. I see that in all different types of culture, but
Sure.
we just we saw that
Arabs
early
are the
on.
same way, man.
Oh, the same.
I mean,
exact
it's
way.
terrible.
You
We're
have
like
a
one person
dealership, they'll open up the dealership right next to you.
next to you, and then that cousin has another dealership,
Oh
and before
my
you know it, you got
gosh, yeah.
50 of them on the street.
Exactly.
But I'm
So,
like, that doesn't work. You're about to
yeah.
kill everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, early on when they were there, they wanted to leave. Their thing was like, we can't make money because
Yeah.
they're driving all the prices down to the ground.
Right, because how do you compete?
You can't. I
Yeah.
mean, you're making nothing.
Yeah.
So then they had a big contract from a builder that moved, and he went to Birmingham, and then he called my dad and my uncle and was like, "Hey, come on, and we have plenty of work for you. So it started becoming that 2 times a week here, 3 times there, 3 times here, two
Two
times
times
there.
there, yeah.
So it got to a point within a year or two, they were just here all the time. So my mom and my aunt was just like, there's no reason for us to live here. You guys are just there, so let's move. So then they moved joint forces together, and
Yeah.
the builder was like, hey, we need somebody to do stone. Everybody else comes out of Atlanta. Y'all want to do it? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So they literally rented a storage unit and started buying a few slabs, and then rented a warehouse, started cutting everything by hand, transporting
What?
everything by hand. It was 24 hours nonstop
Wow.
working. I mean,
But you know what? That is how that's the same model of like if you want to own and run a restaurant, you start in the back by washing the dishes.
exactly.
Like you got to start by from the very bottom to understand how each step. So that is invaluable insight
yeah.
because they know all the things that don't work
Exactly.
and they can only make it work better.
Exactly. So
Love
I
it.
mean, from them, like I said, it got to a point that it's like, what the inspiration is. I want to feed my family. I whatever it is, if it's construction, if it's restaurant, whatever. Look, early on, that was their mindset. As they grew, they're like, okay, well, now I'm inspired to bring the best client experience, no matter what we do. Turn that from I want to feed my family. Now I want to provide the best
I want to
service
perfect it.
and
Yeah.
perfect it even more.
Yeah.
So that was something that they were just intrigued, and they always loved construction in Brazil. And that side, they wanted to, bring it here and show what they can do and what they've learned, and
Sure.
also hire elite people that focus on that craft and do a really good job. Um, and then from there we grew to where we are today. But yeah, if it wasn't for my dad and my uncle and the sacrifices that my mom and aunt made, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I'm
Yeah.
extremely grateful for them, because I still remember the days they would pick me up in a van. I would be doing homework, they would be installing, and then I would go.
You're
And
covered in sawdust.
oh, the whole time. So, and it was like my dad and hey, you done? Okay, come on, let's go.
That's
Let's go
good.
install with me. So that's just how it was, and I got that work ethic very early on. I saw how much they worked. And even when I joined back with a business after I was in insurance, it was the same thing. I saw that their vision, and I saw that they wanted me to step up and be different. So I worked as much as I can from 5 in the morning to 12 at night for years doing that. And my dad and my uncle just, after, your body takes a toll on you after you do that for a long amount of time. So I kind of got that off their backs, and obviously I'm not working those hours now because we're well structured now. It's a well-oiled machine, which we're still working on.
Sure.
But it's something
Always
that
room for improvement.
exactly, as business owners, we all know that there's always room, and we do. Sometimes I look at it like I look more at the bad things of the business than the good. So we've done what we call
It's kryptonite.
yeah,
For us.
exactly.
Why do we do that?
It's all the time.
All the
So
time.
something that helps every year that we do with our whole team is SWOT analysis.
What is it?
SWOT analysis.
SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Tell me more.
yeah, so what it is SWOT. So S stands for the strengths. So we get all of our team members and leadership team to write strengths that we have. Which business owners, we don't look at our strengths because we look at our weakness. So W stands for weakness. Objectives is the O, and then T are threats. So who are threats in the building, and what are threats of other competitions and what they're doing. So
Huh.
objectives are what we're looking to
accomplish.
accomplish.
Yeah.
So doing those SWOT analysis every year, I just kind of came up with it. I saw it online and saw, all of
So
our
SWOT with an O.
with an O.
Okay.
SWOT
I
with an O.
love
Yeah.
that.
So
I
people,
may try that out in
yeah,
my business.
people love it. People love it in
So
our
do you get
business.
just the team together to
So I put every 72 employees to write.
write all of them?
The SWOT, what their opinion is of what SWOT is for their department and what they do.
For themselves as
Yes.
well.
And then we gather all their thoughts and put it in a huge, huge sticky note, like all over the wall.
Oh, that's my favorite.
And
Okay, I'm in.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
this.
So you start
It's like brain
yeah,
dumping.
it's a brain dumping. So you don't only take your brainstorm, but you take the brainstorm of the whole organization. And that's
Mm.
helped us really see our weakness and our threats. When we think we have weaknesses in this department, we start seeing the big picture. Well, we actually have weakness in this department because this department isn't doing this, and they're putting it that's their strength, but they really don't know that's So you
Yeah.
start weaving out like the good and the bad, and you start building out a quarterly goal with your departments for your next year. So we do that. We've been doing that the past 2 years now, and it's helped us
How do
as
you
well.
measure those goals? Like, how do you check in on the pulse of the progression?
So we have a KPI metric system that built with Google Sheets basically. So it's a weekly report that they have to fill out based on their department
Oh,
and
okay.
based on
Hey, Elon.
yeah,
5 bullet points
yeah,
on a
exactly,
weekly basis.
yeah, yeah,
Actually, I don't hate this idea
yeah,
because it
but
keeps you very in touch.
yeah, yeah,
You know, you go to these like worldly speakers, you go to these conferences once a year, and you're
hmm
like, I'm so inspired, but then you don't do crap with it. Like
exactly,
it just goes out the window.
exactly.
But you're keeping that pulse check. Like, you know,
hmm
I love this. I'm very, very intrigued
Yeah,
by
yeah,
all of these
yeah.
thoughts.
Thank you.
And I think that that's very important as a business owner of like, how do you strengthen your skills as a leader?
Yeah,
And even us as leaders, we need leaders, right?
a
Leaders
hundred
have to be
percent.
led by leaders. And like,
Uh-huh.
how can we get better? How can we get stronger? Where did we go wrong?
Yeah.
And I think the part that we all have to struggle with, especially as leaders, is when everything is going right, we have to give away all the
Right.
credit. It's because of the employees, it's because of the team, it's because of the company.
Yep.
And then when everything's going wrong, it's my fault. I failed. I didn't do this right.
Yeah.
It's, don't worry about my people. It's me. I'm the problem.
Yeah.
And so, and that can kind of get defeating after a while
Mm-hmm.
because there's not really a time where you're celebrated. When you are celebrated, you got to give away the credit. And when you're being criticized, you take all the criticism. How do you deal with that?
Um, it is hard. I think what I've done recently, where I haven't like beat myself up
Mm-hmm.
when things do go wrong and the team, does something wrong and it does fall back on you. Um, so my wife, she's inspired me to do what we call a 5-minute journal every morning and every night. That's helped me tremendously because as we are business owners and leaders, we're always on the go when we wake up, phone calls, emails,
Yeah, we
we're
jump
going.
into our work suit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So,
So true.
doing this 5-minute journal has really helped me really realize what, um, first, it's the things that I'm looking forward for today, the things that I'm grateful for, and affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
That helps me
Stay
really
grounded.
look
Yeah.
of like, man, I really have these things that I'm looking forward to today, and and those affirmations are good because you start telling yourself and you start believing it more and more, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I sit back down for 5 minutes and I write the things that actually happened that I liked, the things that I did not like, the things that I can see for improvement, and the things that I want to be better for tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
having those 5 minutes I've seen an improvement of my leadership skills as well,
Yeah.
of actually reflecting back like, oh, I wrote this last week, this actually happened, because we don't really count those things on a day-to-day basis. we
It's true.
we really
Yeah.
don't look at like how our week is going, what we have ahead. We're just hustling every day and doing the best that we can with leading our team. So having those moments to reflect back has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And also I'm very open-minded and I like criticism, especially from my team. And every quarter we sit down and I ask everybody in the company to talk about the leadership team. What do they think about this? What do you think about the company's policy? What do you think about what we've changed? in that way, it helps me to improve. And then my leadership team, I ask them, what are the things that you've seen that I've led well, and what are the things that you think I need to improve on? Because as leaders, we don't reflect on that. And I feel like we, from mentors that I've had in the past, they've always told me it's good for you to always ask also your team members that are there, especially if you have a leadership team, because they will start to tell you like, hey, this is my opinion. And as leadership, it's hard to hear that. It's really hard. We get pissed
It's
off
humbling.
really quick.
It's very
Like,
humbling.
what are you talking about? I do this, do this, like, and they don't,
But you're like, but you're a meathead.
exactly, yeah.
I can't
But
get through to you.
sometimes what they're saying might be true.
Yeah.
And we just have to sit back and I go back to my wife because when I get pissed off at that sometimes, like, especially if clients get upset or they say, like, you guys didn't do a good job. I'm like,
I'm offended.
yeah, I'm offended.
I'm
I
offended.
like see red. So, but obviously I
Yeah.
don't blow off on the client. I'm the type of person that I soak it in a lot and I don't let it out.
Yep.
She does a good job of letting it out slowly out of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But
it.
that helps in the sense of like for again going back to the journaling, it's journaling. People, when I first heard that, I was like, nah, I don't want to journal every day. What the heck is this? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Sounds girly.
I won't. Yeah, exactly. But it's truly helped me.
therapeutic, yeah.
It for me, that's what helps me.
That's interesting.
And always seeking out mentors as well. That's always been good. If it's
So true.
podcasts that you like to listen to,
So
if
true.
it leads on leadership. I'm not a big reader. I am trying to read more on leadership books on what I can do to help.
Oh, I have I have a stack of them. I can give you that
Yeah,
I've read. I've got,
yeah.
but there's highlights, there's notes, there's sticky
No,
notes
good.
all over it.
That's
like,
fine.
I'll give
That's
you some
the
of them.
best.
They're
Yeah.
really great.
So those are things that I kind of look forward to on leadership, and always asking for opinions on what my
How
team
can I
thinks.
get better?
Yeah, how can I get better?
That's so
Because if you
good.
don't, how are you going to get better, right?
That's true. Yeah, you
If
got to
you-
be in tune with yourself.
Exactly.
So, but as leaders, I've encountered multiple scenarios where you also have to be mentally ready to receive it. So you can ask those questions, but if you are not in a place to be open to criticism and be open for growth,
Yep.
then it doesn't matter what you tell them. It doesn't matter
doesn't.
what you advise them of. Are you ready to listen to where you've gone wrong or what you've messed up on, being, leading the team or growing the team, or your strategy about the team, or how you've actually grown and scaled your company, what has broken in your growth as a company, what those breaks have caused heartaches to the consumers. You have to be able to get into position where you are ready to take fault and right that wrong, be it that it's a financial, commitment, or it's a growth commitment, or it's a
Yeah.
error that you have to fix. I can't tell you how many times I have dealt with leaders that they're too prideful. Like, it's everybody else's problem. I'm not the problem. It's everybody else has the problem.
That's right.
And they're not ready to hear it. Yeah. And how do we get that leader to get to the point? Like, you've said you've been very blessed to have like your family members having all the backing, but I'm sure it wasn't always that way. There's got to be some stubborn, digging your heels in at some point into
Yeah.
what causes that leader to switch that mindset of saying, maybe I need to look in the mirror and see where I have failed. And then how do I grow from it? And that's probably one of the most humbling moments, in my opinion,
Yeah.
for a leader to realize,
Yeah.
I failed.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know you've been there.
Yeah.
But how do you get that leader to get to that point when they're like, let me take a look in the mirror and see where I've messed up?
Well, I think what I've seen reflecting back, and I would say when I first joined with our family business now, it was like a year or two of just like, you're just stagnant. You're not going up. You're not going down. And they were always like, what are we doing wrong? We're supposed to be the best and do this. And having what we did early on is we actually brought in consultants in the business, they really were straightforward and laid it down like, this is what you're doing wrong. If you want to be where you want to get to, you have to change this. It took people coming in and really just shoving it down our throats of like, this is what you're doing. So what we did,
Yeah.
which was really helpful, is we got big sticky notes.
I've
we,
seen them
you've
in the
seen them,
conference
yeah,
room.
exactly.
Like you're talking about, it's like
Yeah,
literally a
like,
poster size
exactly.
sticky note.
So
And there's writing all over
everywhere.
it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
yeah.
like a freaking war. It's
It's
the
a war
war
room.
room. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we call it.
I
So
love this.
so when we first got to a point that we were, I would say, the leadership team, which would include my dad, my uncle, my mom, and my aunt,
Yeah.
and myself. Now that's changed. Early on, they came in and was like, okay, I want you to write everything you're responsible for. You to write everything you're responsible for on these sticky notes. And let's see why we're failing.
Yeah.
When we got to that point, they wrote everything down. I had 3 pages. Everybody had 1 page.
Oh.
They were like,
So then you saw the break.
so they were like, this is why.
This is a problem.
You guys put everything on him,
On him and not enough on.
and not enough on each other.
Wow.
And then not enough on the management team.
That's pretty.
The management team is supposed to
amazing.
be doing this, and that. So early on, we saw, okay, they thought we all, and I knew I was overwhelmed, but I didn't express it. But
Why do you
early
do that to
on,
yourself?
I don't know, but like I said, that was something that was a click for me, that I had to write everything down to see exactly what I was doing. I didn't even realize I was doing, because they got us.
Because you were in fight or
Yeah.
flight. Yeah.
And 3 pages, everybody 1 page, and it was like, that's the problem. You guys are putting everything on him. He's literally like this with ropes. One gets loose, he's like, and then the other one pulls back. It's literally how we are, and that's how it is. And
Oh,
then
wow.
we started really digging deep on like, okay, what do we need to change? What is our management team doing? We need to take these responsibilities, add it to here, add this, change this. And what really inspired was that, back to the leadership question that you asked, was I started going to other successful fabricators, other businesses out of state that does the same thing we do. So I would go to convention centers, that focus on like stone or flooring, and I would just network with people like, hey, what do you do? Oh, I do this, I own this, I do this. So I would start picking, and on social media, I would reach out to companies that I'm inspired by based on what I do. I would reach out to them, reach out to the owner, like, hey, I do this. Would you mind if I go and visit your shop or visit your company? And those are people that are doing 20, 30, 60, 80 million dollars a year on revenue on the type of service that I do. So for me, when I go there, I'm like,
It humbles you real
yeah.
quick, doesn't it?
I'm like, I thought I was doing good.
Yeah.
These guys are killing it, and
Yeah.
they think they're not killing it.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, they're doing
Wow.
100 million a year, and they think that they're not doing good.
Yeah.
And I think they are like badass.
They're like
my
the gods of the
inspiration,
stone.
what I want to do. So that's like, holy crap, these guys are, thinking this mindset, and I'm like here, they're here. So that inspires me to go back to like, I really need to bust my ass, really need to create different things based on what we do, so we can grow different revenue marks. So for me, that really started opening up my mindset in the past few years, where I go to those shops.
What a testament to your
And-
leadership, though, to do that.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
have to have that mindset.
Where I'm not better than
Yeah.
them, or I'm not,
Yeah, but
I love that.
but like I said, what really changed was the fact that was like, what do you want at Maranatha? What do you want it to be? You just want to be average? No, I want to be the best freaking countertop and flooring company in the state.
Yeah.
Once I reach that, I want to be in the Southeast. Once I reach that, I want to be in the US. So like, how do we achieve that? Obviously, we have to scale it, right? and we have to achieve that. And it's not gonna. It's a long term. We're talking about generational for it to get to that point. If you want to go, to even nationwide, but I want to be the best that what I do. I wake up every day and know that we're doing the best that we can with the best people that we have in the state. They're working for us. We're incentivizing them, and we're always being open-minded to what we're doing.
Walk me through a day in the life of Pedro.
Okay, so usually I would start my
5-minute journal.
Yeah, 5-minute journal when I wake up. Usually it starts around usually perfect days that I'm having more than usual. Wake up around 4:15, 4:30 in the morning, do the journal, get something very light for breakfast, hit the gym for 30, 45 minutes, come back, shower, and then I'll prep something for my wife as well before I leave. So her favorite coffee or something that she likes for breakfast. And then I will head out around 7 o'clock to go to work. So, and that just depends on if I'm going to Maranatha or the glass company. So I'll, depending on the days that I have laid out with my assistant, we have certain days that I go to
Each company.
And then once I get there, that my day starts with, usually I have back-to-back meetings with either upcoming clients, clients that we have that I'm always maintaining networking with, of taking them to lunch and just, thanking them for their business and things like that. I try to have that at least once a week with each client to retain clients and make sure that they're,
That's so
being
important.
heard.
Even if you've been a customer for 5 years,
Yeah.
or that they're a customer, that's still so important to
Exactly.
nurture.
So retaining client is important.
Yeah, that's important.
I have a lot of one-on-ones with my managers throughout the week, so I'll have an hour with each one, and this is your moment to tell me what the hell is going on. What can we do to get better? What are things that you've liked? So one-on-ones have been really important with my management team because they feel heard and they see that I really want to strive to, help them out in what they're doing. So it just depends on, like I said,
keeping a
that
pulse
day.
with everything.
Yeah,
Keeping
and
a pulse check.
everything is already scheduled in advance. So I have weekly meetings for every department already set for the year with my assistant. So I know exactly what I'm tackling to be more consistent. If I'm more consistent with my people, they will be more consistent with me.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's just a matter of the
it's a
game.
matter. What is that? What is the saying? Like, you model the behavior
Yeah.
that you're expecting.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's like I said, that goes throughout the day, and then I'm catching up and emails, phone calls, worrying about our personal life if we have anything going on, and then I'm leaving the office anywhere between 6:30 or 7. So it's a
Lots
long
of
day.
talking.
And, a lot of talking.
Do not underestimate the power of talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get home, my husband's had a rough day, like in the field with like using his body and his arms, and he gets home and I'm just like, I don't want to talk. And he's like, you've been sitting in an office all day in the air conditioning and I've been sweating. I was like, do not underestimate the amount of talking. Takes a lot. It's not just talking. It's like your demeanor, your mindset, your moral, your emotion, your psyche. It's a lot. It's emotionally draining.
I feel like mental wise, if there's a lot going on mentally, you get a lot. You actually, from what I've seen, is you get drained out a lot more if your work and what you do on a daily basis is more mental than physical. You are tired, don't get me wrong, physical work, right, as well. But mentally actually takes a whole different, like drain into your system and what you're doing. Like it unbalances everything more than the strength.
I agree. I mean,
100%.
The strength job, once it's done, it's done.
Mental,
it just lingers,
forever.
and then you're running around. You're like, crap, I should have said it this way. I didn't do this, or I forgot this. Oh my gosh, I didn't do that. Like,
exactly.
It is a lot.
But I have my brain dump is the journal though.
Just the journal.
Yeah.
So I'm a tech geek. I want to be a
Nice,
tech geek anyway.
nice,
So I
nice.
have to lean in on AI and all that. And I have this watch that I just bought, Plod.
Okay.
I'm not wearing it today because I'm recording, but
Yeah.
I literally let it listen to my meetings. And then as soon as I finish the meeting, I press a button, I go into the app and I say, translate this into a to-do list. And in 2 seconds, it says, here's the conclusion, here's the highlights, here's what you said you're going to do, and here's what the speaker said they were going to do. That was life-changing for me. I've been using it, and I
Wow.
send it over to the client. I'm like, here's the conversation we just had. Let me know if it missed anything. And they're like, this is amazing.
What's it called?
Flawed. Plaud.
Yeah,
I'll show you an example of it
yeah,
when we finish this up.
I'm gonna steal that from you.
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially when you're in a meeting after meeting after meeting. And you're like, when am I gonna have time to like digest the meeting notes and like what
Yeah.
did I say
What
I
did
was
we
gonna
talk
do?
about?
What do we
Yeah.
talk about?
Yeah. Mm.
Give me the highlights of it. It's pretty amazing. So that's where I lean in on.
I'm gonna steal that one.
Yeah, good. But I'll still swat from you.
Yeah.
That's a win-win.
Awesome.
But this is what this is about, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
how do we
right.
learn from each other of like getting together? Our hub meetings tomorrow night. You better be there.
Yes.
So all of our
I will
hub
be there.
vendors will be there. And I think this stuff right here is what we as entrepreneurs, I feel like, need. It's
Mm-hmm.
like we need this community of, and I love that you touched base on that. Like, hey, I found someone that could do it better, faster, and stronger in a different market. I'm going to call them and say, hey, you inspire me. Can I come and meet with you?
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is a lot of leaders are they're not like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to talk to you. Most of them, especially the ones that are grounded, are going to be, complimented by that. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course you can come and talk to me. But
And
there's
there's
also,
not a lot of people doing that. And
you're right.
every time they're like,
No one's asked me that question.
what? Can you say that again?
Yeah.
And it's every time I ask.
That's
Because they're
crazy.
like, there's no one else out here. It's just, we gotten to a point. I mean, it's like,
Pride?
I guess, but like, it's easy to win in this generation, I feel like.
Yeah. You just
You
have
don't
to put in
have
the work.
the hustle and of the people how it used to be generations before, like before you did, but now people are just late. I mean, I'm just gonna call
It's
it
true.
out. It's
It's
lazy.
true. They're
Laziness. I
lazy.
mean, and it's easy to win in this market, I feel like. If you communicate, pick up your phone, call back, call back.
Simple.
Like, it's simple things
So
for you to be
simple.
successful. It's not that hard.
Oh my gosh.
But
So true.
but people don't want to do it.
Don't
and
wanna
that's
do
why
it.
we're all here where we are today.
Yeah. I literally talked to my team about that yesterday. I was like, our communication has to be at this level. If you don't respond back in 24 hours, I have a problem. If you don't text me back by the end of the day, I'm going to have a problem. Like,
Yep.
I don't even care if you have no updates for me. Just say, hey, I've left that person a message. I'm waiting to hear back from them.
Yep.
Doesn't even have to be like they haven't called me back.
Form of communication.
Just speak.
Yep,
Speak to
yep,
me.
yep.
And like it's so crazy, even with contractors and vendors, it's like it's an unparalleled experience of like, you'll have to call them back 10 times. You'll eventually answer. You may have to
Yeah.
text them. You may have to leave them a
Exactly.
message. Why have we gotten to that point? You're like, this guy is awesome. He's going to answer on the first ring. That may not always be the case, but like
Yeah.
he's going to call you back by the end of the day, or like
Yeah.
at least respond, which is another reason why we created the network we did, because I was sick of it. I was like, I'm done. I'm trying to give you money and you're not responding and you're not calling me back. They're like,
Yeah.
why am I chasing after you?
Oh yeah. I
It's
know.
it's wild.
It's not that hard, but
So good. So to finish us off, what advice would you give somebody that is trying to start in the fabricating business?
I think the best advice would be from what I've learned from other people. First, I would say find a good mentorship based on the business that you're trying to go after.
That's so good.
Pick their brain if you can. Model what they're doing. If people are successful and you just model what they're doing, you're gonna be successful.
You're already ahead.
You're already ahead.
Right.
Just don't recreate the wheel. Like if they already have something that's being
That's
done
working.
correctly,
Yeah.
just copy and paste. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Put your own little twist to it. but yeah.
exactly. Put your twist to it. And it's the same thing that I've done. Yes, my family did grow the business. We got it to a point, but we got to a point where we're stagnant. We couldn't move up and down. How did we achieve that? Is we found mentorship or consultants, and we found models of other businesses that are in the same thing that we do, but maybe in a different state,
Yep.
different market.
Yep.
Model that, speak with them,
tell me what Maranatha means, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Okay. Maranatha means Lord Jesus come in Aramaic. And it's a really special meaning for us just because we are a Christian-based company, and we wanted something to represent our God's name and what we do. So it's cool. We have testimonies of people calling or emailing us like, oh, I saw the truck Maranatha and it's made my day because I went to search it up and it means Lord Jesus come in this place. So it's really cool that we get to do that. And we've also took it up a notch. We got some African stones now that are exclusive to us. And we've put different names, like Alpha is one, Omega is the other one, Christo is the other one.
Oh my gosh.
Adonai, different meanings. So it's cool. So people are like, oh, I have this Adonai
story.
marble, and they're actually saying a meaning in what we believe. So it's cool that we got to
awesome.
put a little bit of that in the business that we do.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Well, Pedro, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you.
It's been an amazing episode. Learned so much about you. I think the world of you and your family and your business, and we're very thankful for your partnership.
Thank you.
And that's all for us today at Cup of Joe. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.